The Los Angeles Rams bounced back after a loss from the previous weekend with a big divisional win over the Seattle Seahawks. But Russell Wilson suffered an injury. What are the details on that? Can he get back to the team soon? Geno Smith came in and threw a touchdown, but it wasn't enough to get them over the Rams. We'll recap that win for the Rams to start the show, then get into who are surprising teams through the first quarter of the season, and, of course, all of our Week 5 picks right here on the Friday edition of the Locked On NFL podcast. I'm your host, Chris Carter, here with your boy Q. Let's get it going.
You are Locked On NFL, your daily NFL podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Friday edition of the Locked On NFL podcast. I'm Chris Carter. He's your boy Q. We're keeping it rocking with you on a Friday. Now, remember, we always appreciate it. We appreciate you for making the Locked On NFL podcast your first listen every day in the podcast world. We are free and available on all platforms, so check us out: YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, all the different ways to check us out. It's a lot of fun here, and you know, you like to wrap your weeks up with me and your boy Q. Q, what's good, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I can't believe we're in week 5 already of the NFL season. I mean, just coming off a Thursday night game, NFC West action. But yeah, to be in week 5 already, I just remember being in the summertime talking about preseason football, talking about expectations on the year. And now all of a sudden, we're more than a quarter way through the season. It's like, what in the world's going on? Slow down, NFL. Slow down. Man. I don't want you to go away too soon.
Right. Like, I'm sitting here. Listen, we had to make up so much content back in this. I am done. I'm glad we don't got to do that now. We got games to evaluate. We got things we can talk about, players that we can say, oh, this guy's doing this and this guy's doing that. But let's do that for this Thursday night game. The Rams win it on the road, 26-17. This was an interesting game because it started off looking like the Seahawks might have this game. They came out, they had a big red zone interception of Matt Stafford. Russell Wilson came out through a touchdown to DK Metcalf. I thought DK Metcalf was going to have a hard time getting open against a Jalen Ramsey-led secondary, but the Rams hung in there. Darrell Henderson got on the board. Tyler Higbee got on the board. They kind of won with unconventional ways of scoring. You know, Sony Michel got in the end zone for him. Matt Stafford going 25 of 37 for 365, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Robert Woods leading the team with 12 catches for 150 yards, no touchdowns. But one thing I think that caught everyone's eye, and it's going to be the biggest thing they watch out of this game, Russell Wilson left the game with an injury. He only threw 11 of 16 passes for 152 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Got replaced by Geno Smith, who didn't look all that bad when he was throwing the ball, Q, but still, Russell Wilson is the guy that makes this team go. You take him off of it, there's a huge drop in my expectation for what the Seahawks can do.
Yeah, I picked the Seattle Seahawks to win this game, and they didn't, obviously, but I picked them to win the game because of Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? Like, I don't pick them because I think, oh, they have a adequate backup in Geno Smith. I don't. I say Russell Wilson is what makes things go. Geno did a good job. I don't want to discredit him, but it's a Russell Wilson show. And the Seahawks defense is not that good, even though they have Jamal Adams and other guys on there that can go. Their defense is just not that good. So it's about Russell Wilson. And unfortunately, he leaves the game early. I was actually shocked that he didn't come back with the finger injury. Who knows how long he's going to be out. I know Pete Carroll said after the game there's no timeline for his return. So that's going to be interesting as well because, well, you know, this is one loss, but you don't want to let one loss beat you twice. So you got to get back on that horse and go. Who knows when Russell Wilson's actually available to go? But I'll say this, Chris. This game to me, as I was watching it, really boiled down to the mistakes that Seattle made. Yes. You know, losing Russell Wilson is huge. I don't want to say it's a mistake, but it was a big loss for them. But early actually late in the first half, they get a touchdown pass and they get called for a holding penalty. A little suspect, but it was a big holding penalty. It takes a touchdown off the board. They eventually have to settle for a field goal and they miss. And so as soon as they missed that field goal, I looked and I said, that's gonna come back to bite them. And you just can't allow good teams to have. You can't spot them 7 points. You can't spot them. Okay, I'm not going to make this field goal. You've got to be able to capitalize. And when the Seattle Seahawks didn't capitalize, I felt like it was going to be a long day. Of course, Russell Wilson gets hurt after that, and so well, as we know, it's over. 26-17. The Rams come away with the victory, and they bounced back after losing a week ago. So there you go, 4-1 on the season. Not bad for LA.
Not bad at all. And like you said, with the Seahawks, it's even rougher because now you're 2-3 in the NFC West.
Right.
The Cardinals are the only undefeated team left in the entire league. You got the 4-1 Rams. The Niners are duking it out with everybody. Like this is a rough spot to be in if you're Seattle. And not just now. Even if you're trying to make the wild card, all whoever wins the division, the next two teams are in the hunt for the wild card spots in the NFC. So that's a tough task right there. And I think it also stings because you had a lot of things line up for you. You forced the Rams to go 2 of 10 on third downs. When you hold a team to 20% on third down, that's a game you expect to win. That's when you're like, man, we won a lot of situational football and we still didn't pull that out. That's frustrating. And I think that's what's going to sting about this loss. What'll sting longer is if Russell Wilson doesn't play, they get to play in Pittsburgh, Sunday Night Football next week. Pittsburgh, of course, has been a reeling team themselves, but if you got Geno Smith coming into Heinz Field, it's a lot less daunting than Russell Wilson going into Heinz Field, regardless of how Ben Roethlisberger is playing right now.
Yeah, I don't think Geno Smith's winning any games. I just don't. Again, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but we know who Geno Smith is. And Geno Smith is not walking into Heinz Field, in my opinion, and winning a game. He's just not. Again, Seattle's defense is not the defense that won them a Super Bowl ring. It is a
Legion of Boom.
Right, exactly. So you can't just go in there and be a suspect quarterback and win with that defense. You've got to go in there and you've got to lead the charge. That's what Russell Wilson does so well, and that's not who Geno Smith is. So that's a problem moving forward. So, yeah, they lost the game, but they're back there in the locker room. They're in Seattle wondering, did we lose more than that? Is it going to be bigger than this? How many games is Russ going to be out, if any more? If he's out for multiple games, they could find themselves looking up in the NFC West because that is one hell of a division.
It's going to be highly competitive where all the biggest games are going to happen. I think in the NFC, you might even have your NFC champion coming from that division. And all the way through, man, that's where a lot of money is going to be made. And where you can make your money is on Bet Online. It's that time of the year again with football teams back on the gridiron as football season's well underway. Don't forget that Bet Online is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With a new updated site and interface, there are even more odds, props, and contests at BetOnline, which continues to be the number one source for everything football. Head to the website or use your mobile device today to sign up and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code LOCKEDON. That's LOCKEDON, locked on, all capital letters, all one word, and you'll receive that 50% welcome bonus. When you check out BetOnline, look for all the different specials that are available, chances for you to make money in the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports, from football to basketball to boxing. Heck, there's the Fury Wilder fight this weekend. And there's also, don't forget, it goes even as wild as horse racing on BetOnline. Don't forget to take advantage of all of the great offers available for the 2021 season at BetOnline, where the game starts. We're keeping it rolling here on the Friday edition of the Locked On NFL podcast. I'm Chris Carter here with your boy Q. Let's keep it rolling, Q. Our topic for this segment: the most surprising teams through the first quarter of the season. Now, technically, mathematically, it's not the first quarter anymore because there's 17 games for every team, and it's so annoying because it used to be a nice, evenly chopped 4 games. And now we got to sit here. We got to be like, well, it's like 4 games and a quarter or whatever the fraction is. But point being, there's 4 games into the season, and there's some 3-1 teams that we're really surprised by. That I'm really surprised by. Q, give me your first team that's you're most surprised by how they're doing in this first quarter.
All right, let me ask you this before I get started. Am I going to roll with an NFC team and one AFC team? Is that what I'm going through?
If you want to, I had no strict format for this. I was going to say you pick one, then I pick one. But yeah, you know what? Give me an NFC team and an AFC team, Q. That could be fun.
Sounds good. How about this? I'm going to roll with the NFC team first because that's just how I roll. And
Okay.
I'm going to roll with the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are 3-1. Dak Prescott obviously is coming back from the terrible ankle injury, but that's not the storyline. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the weapons that he has. I'm not talking about CeeDee Lamb. I'm not talking about Tony Pollard. I'm not talking about Zeke Elliott. I'm not talking about Coop. I'm not talking about Gallup. I'm not talking about none of those cats.
What you talking about?
Schultz, none of them. I'm talking about that damn Cowboy defense. I'm talking about
Yeah.
Trayvon Diggs having 5 interceptions in 4 games. I'm talking about a second-round pick stepping up like a boss. I'm talking about a guy who I thought was going to be a stud, but didn't think he was going to be a stud to this extreme.
Like this.
This dude is a ball hawk. I mean, it's so funny to know that Stephon Diggs, his brother, is such a stud offensively as a wide receiver, and Trevon Diggs is doing it from the defensive back position. So my first big surprise is that Dan Quinn has gone into Dallas and turned that defense around quick, fast, and in a hurry, and has all of a sudden helped create this guy, this monster in Trayvon Diggs, who's able to come up with so many big plays. I think the Cowboys are leading the league in turnovers right now, or created turnovers, which is huge. They're not always guaranteed, but they look for them now. That's the thing. They look for turnovers. And when you start looking for turnovers and you expect turnovers, good things happen. We all know they come in bunches. Trevon Diggs right now is at 5 interceptions. If he continues at this pace, and I'm not expecting an interception every single game, but if he ends the season around 8, 9, 10 interceptions, why wouldn't he be Defensive Player of the Year?
So it's a very good point. I mean, that interceptions are the biggest parts of the game sometimes. And it's funny, you said all that, and you didn't once say the name Micah Parsons, who has also been phenomenal for that defense.
Absolute stud. I mean, he's going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's winning that. He's winning that head away. But right now, that Cowboys team is certainly at 3-1, and it's not just that they're 3-1; it's the way they're 3-1, and how they were just a couple plays away from being 4-0 if they had beaten the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay on the night that they unveiled their championship banner. So, definitely a good pick by you there. I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos in the AFC.
Woo!
Okay. That defense has played a lot better than I thought it would. I thought they were going to hit the struggle bus with that offense. Their offense has made it work with Teddy Bridgewater. Granted, Teddy's coming off the concussion protocol. We got to hope to see that he rebounds, in a good way. But again, yeah, sure. Some of their wins have been, not against, superb teams, but you win with the games that are in front of you, and the fact that they've been able to hang in there, and their only losses to the 3-1 Ravens, who kind of beat them up when they were shorthanded a little bit there. I think the Broncos, they deserve credit for their 3-1 start, along with the rest of the AFC West outside of Kansas City. If you had told me that Kansas City would be in last place 4 weeks in, that's also a surprise. Just that Kansas City is not in at least the top 2 teams in the AFC West, but a tight division there, just like the NFC West is right now. But I'll go with the Broncos as my surprise team in the AFC.
Okay. I'm not really quite on that board yet. I'm not on that page yet, only because, like you mentioned, the teams that they played to win the first 3 games. When they won those 3 games, those teams didn't have 1 win under their belt. They were 0 for 9. You know what I mean? So I'm not really quite ready to get on that page. But again, you did hit it on the head. You play who's in front of you, you play who's on your schedule, and you win the games you're supposed to win. And that's what they did. And they lost to Baltimore, a game that I expected them to lose. And so I'm interested to see what they do this week. And if they're able to bounce back, then we can revisit this conversation. I'm just not ready to jump on that train just yet. But I understand why you went there, so I'm not going to fault you. How about this? Want to go talk about some AFC teams? And I know this is gonna light some folks on fire on this show. How about the Cincinnati Bengals?
Well, I mean, they're 3-1. Yeah, they got to be
in the Cincinnati Bengals, man. It's a team I trashed week 1. It's a team I trashed week 2. It's a team I almost trashed week 3. I mean, it's a team that I do not expect to be a very good team. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to pick against them this week. But every time I do, they just do one thing. They just keep winning. They find ways to win games. They're in a very tough division. I know the Steelers are on the struggle bus, but they're still the Steelers. They're in there with obviously the Ravens, and they're in there with the Browns, and they're in first place. You know what I mean? So hey, they're 3-1. I don't think that they're going to really sustain this. I do know that Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback. I know Jamar Chase is a good wide receiver. I thought it was a bad decision to make that pick, but he's been on the same page with Joe Burrow, and it's proven that they know a little bit more than we do, and that's fine. That's what they get paid for. So he looked like a really good pick, and it looks like that this team has an opportunity to be something. I don't know if it's sustainable. I think the Bengals are similar to, and I don't want to say, Raider fans, probably Bronco fans that are like, whoa, three wins, 3-1. Is this sustainable? And I'll say Raider fans as well, because I know a lot of Raider fans call me and say, hey, the 3-0 start that they got off to is great. How long can they hold on to that? Is that for real, or is that a mirage? Now they dropped one game to the Chargers, so they're at 3-1. What do they do to bounce back? So right now the Bengals are at 3-1. What do they do this week? Do they come up with a win? If they do, I think a lot of the league's going to be talking about the Cincinnati Bengals.
Certainly could be. If they beat the Packers, they're on everyone's watch list. I think with the way the Steelers played, I think everyone was kind of like, well, okay, the Bengals should have won that game with how bad the Steelers looked in that game. But you beat Aaron Rodgers. That puts everyone on notice that, okay, now you're 4-1 with a win over the Packers under your belt. That's something to say there. If I had to pick an NFC team right now, I'm tempted just to say the Arizona Cardinals because I did not have them being the last undefeated team in the NFL. But I did think they'd be good this year. I did think Kyler Murray was going to have something for him. So I'll steer away from them. I'm going to go with your boys, the Fighting Matt Rules of Carolina Panthers. At 3-1, I know, that is Q's boy. He has been all over Matt Rule.
My guy.
That's his guy. He loves him to death. He's got a man crush on Matt Rule. But,
yes.
But that team is competitive. The defense is fighting, and now they've traded and got Stephon Gilmore whenever he's back from his injury. That's going to be interesting because they lost J.C. Horn, which I was like, man, that's a huge battle. How do you lose J.C. Horn and then get Stephon Gilmore? That's just ridiculous.
And they went out and got C.J. Henderson too.
They are loading up.
I'm not sold on C.J., but it shows you that Matt Rule believes that team could be really good and that they have a chance to win now. He's making aggressive moves.
Yes, he is. And if they can get Christian McCaffrey back, watch out, man. The Fighting Matt Rules could be a serious force. They're tied with the Buccaneers atop the NFC South at 3-1. Heck of a fight that they put up in these early games here, Q. But yeah, those are our teams that are the surprise.
You know what I would do
of the season.
I don't mean to extend this segment too long.
Go ahead.
If I was Matt Rule, I would trade Christian McCaffrey.
Whoa!
I would.
What?
What did you do with them? What did he do for you last year?
Okay, I see your point.
What has he done this year?
Get hurt.
Exactly. If you could trade him and get something for him and get some quality, draft picks for him and then flip it and shed that salary too, and you got plenty of cap space, I think that they could be in position to make some moves. I would try to flip him if I was Carolina.
What team is eating that contract for the?
No, you're right. I wouldn't even assign him to that extension if I had been Carolina and I was surprised that they did because Matt Rule's a builder and not a guy that's going to go in the first year and try to win things. So I was shocked by that. But Christian McCaffrey hasn't done anything for the team anyway. So if you're going to go with a bunch of different running backs, why not save the money? Try to get a couple extra draft picks and roll the dice. I think that the strength of the defense, and oh, by the way, Sam Darnold's got 5 touchdown runs on the season. Come on, bro. Give him a little bit of props.
Yeah, I give the Panthers props for that. I still think some of those plays are, especially the last game, that was a little bit of garbage time, but you still get points for you. You get points are points, but I wouldn't trade away Christian McCaffrey. I understand what you're saying there. If I do it, maybe after the season, if I'm the Panthers, but not right now. Like I'm gonna wait and see. And if you get the deal of a lifetime, sure, of course. I never turn down like the chance to to get a Herschel Walker trade going. See if anyone wants that. If the Baltimore Ravens come and say, look, man, we're going all in on this year. We lost all our running backs. We got Le'Veon Bell starting back there. We could use a top speed running back with our top speed quarterback. If that's what if you're talking about, okay, yeah, sure. But I say that I see that being a hard time for them to pull off. But hey, it'll be very interesting to see if they can do something with that.
He's got 201 rushing yards on the season.
Christian McCaffrey?
Yes. 201.
So that's roughly what? 50 a game?
That's like 50 total. 50 total carries he's got. I mean, I just don't see the infatuation with him. But I get it. He's a dynamic player, but he can't stay healthy.
If he can't stay healthy, it don't matter how dynamic you are. You can't make the club from the tub.
I knew you were going to say that, and that's what I was trying to set you up for. That's called a segue, and that's called an alley-oop.
Let's call it segue alley oops, sir. Listen, man. It's just at our old age, Q. I say your old age. I'm still pretty young here. At your old age, I understand that you have certain idioms that you have in your bank. So I was just gonna be like, let me just say something that this man knows and understands so that he can move forward with his life. Uh,
You don't even know what you're talking about, man. You're just trying to come up with something.
I said you had an idiom. You know what that was. I knew what it was. I knew you
You're
were gonna
like the
feed off
lady
my
at the
energy.
welfare line coming up with an excuse on why you ain't got your
I'm the
government
what
cheese,
at the
man.
what? I couldn't even hear what you said.
Exactly.
Speak up next time.
You don't know about that.
I literally couldn't hear what you said
You don't know about that.
because you keep talking when I'm talking.
I
Sheesh.
know.
Yeah, disrespectful. Well,
Yep.
you're supposed to be my co-host. You're supposed to be my backing me up, and here you
My
are,
bad.
stabbing me in the back. Anyways, well, this show is brought to you by Built Bar. If you want a healthy treat that tastes like a candy bar, Built Bar is the protein bar for you. It's the official protein bar of the U.S. track and field team, and it comes in so many different flavors. Whether it's a fruity snack like raspberry, strawberry, or orange, or something different like salted caramel, cookies and cream, Rocky Road, double chocolate, or real cookie dough, which I've been crushing here because they sent me my Built Bar box. Q, did you ever get your address fixed with Built.com?
Yes. I finally got some. I got the which one I get? I got the cookie dough one.
Yeah, that's the cookie dough. We'll put it in the fridge, bro. That's when it's good.
Oh
You put
no,
it in
that's
the
what I
fridge.
did. I put all the Built Bars in. But you know what I'm excited about is the churro puffs, and I know that they're going to be
Ooh.
gone soon. So you got to get them right now if you're a churro fan. But back in the day, nobody knows this. I used to work at Taco Bell, and we would make churros, and I would break them on purpose so we can eat them because we can't sell them if we break them. So I'm a big churro fan. So there you go.
Is the statute of limitations out on you wasting Taco Bell food? Because
I was like 16. I'm 44. So I mean, if you're going to come after me now, whatever.
he's on the run from the cops from all the stolen food from Taco Bell back in the day in Texas.
Churro, I didn't steal it. It was damaged.
Anyways, back to Built Bars. They have 130 to 180 calories. They pack 17 to 18 grams of protein, 4 to 5 grams of sugar, 4 to 5 grams of net carb. That's a tasty, healthy snack that helps you, that saves you from eating the snack that you regret later and take anyone off their diet. But you can stay on your diet with a Built Bar and have your favorite flavor delivered right to your door by going to built.com and use promo code LOCKED15. That's LOCKED15, LOCKED15, and you'll get 15% off your next order. And you can do that without having to break any food and lie to Taco Bell about why you're eating it by going to built.com and enter locked15 for 15% off at built.com.
Don't hate the player.
And see, I knew you was going to try to say so. That's why I just cut you off with the music. I was like, nah, I'm not letting you get no saving grace in there at the end of the hit there. Get out of here with that cue. Trying to say, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hey, man. Just saying.
I don't hate nobody.
All right.
Let's
rapid fire through these picks this week.
Yeah, man. Let's get these.
You always be lagging.
I'm lagging. I'm the one that trying to get the show done here. Now, by the way, Q, you're the keeper of the picks. What did we do last week?
Last week, you didn't do very good. You went 9-6.
I totally. That's impossible.
It's definitely not.
There are 16 games. That's 9 plus 6 is 15.
Yes, and we didn't pick a Thursday game.
You're right. Dang it.
I know.
Shoot.
You went 9. Look, I did bad math 1 week. I'm not going to keep doing bad math.
I was just trying to catch you. Dang it. He's right.
I did do 11-4 because that's how I roll.
Congratulations. Q finally beat me.
I'll say this. I would have got Thursday's game wrong because I picked Seattle to win that game.
Yeah, way to go. I would have picked the Rams. So in your face.
At least I admitted it.
Okay, totally. All right. Let's go right here. Jets, Falcons. Who cares who wins this game? I'm just going with the Jets because Calvin really looks like he's not playing. This is in London. Weird things happen in London. Zach Wilson, whatever. I'm just picking the Jets to pick the Jets.
Well, that's an L for you. I'm going with the ATL, man. It's in London. It's super early in the morning. I'll be watching, maybe. And I think ATL is going to win that game. The Jets, they already got their 1 win for the season.
He's not even going to lie to you. He's like, no, maybe. Like, I'm not. He's like, listen, I live on the West Coast. I'm not trying to watch this game at 6 in the morning.
That's 6:30 a.m., brother.
Q will be knocked out in his bed, not trying to sit. Don't try to lie to me. I might not watch this game at 9:30 in my house. Get out of here with that. I'm gonna watch this game. Right.
At least I said maybe.
Way to cover. Way to cover yourself, Q. All right,
Right.
1-3 Eagles at 3-1 Panthers. I'm going with the Panthers. I just think the Eagles got too many problems. Jalen Hurts hasn't figured it out yet, and the Panthers have figured out enough with Sam Darnold.
Is there any question who I'm rolling with?
No, we know you're the fighting Matt Rule guy.
I'm rolling with the fighting Matt Rules. I actually was intrigued by that Panthers and that Cowboy game a week ago. I thought for a second, man, it looked sharp when Sam Darnold ran for 2 touchdowns. I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be a huge upset. And then, well, we all know that the wheels fell off after that. But yeah, I'm rolling with the fighting Matt Rules for sure.
Yeah, you had to take a cold shower after that game. You were like, I have to
Maybe.
calm down. I have to calm down.
Maybe.
3-1 Packers at 3-1 Bengals. A really interesting 1 p.m. matchup that no one really expected to be an interesting one. I'm rolling with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers played very well last week. I think he'll play very well this week. Bengals win, though. It puts everyone on notice. I just don't think it happens this week.
Man, I'm telling you, every Bengal fan that listens to this show
is like, boo, you guys suck.
Yeah, they're like, Q, you suck. You don't never pick the Bengals. But I'm giving them props. I gave them props in segment number 2. I initially in my mind said Green Bay. I think I'm going to roll the dice, though. You know what? I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to go out on a limb one time. I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals are going to shock the world, and they're going to upset the Green Bay Packers. Let's go, Bengals. Tigers don't change their stripes except for Sunday.
What's their saying? You know they're saying?
It's Who Day.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say that. Like, it's not like go Bengals. You say Who Day. Who Day's gonna be. Also,
Who Dad is in New Orleans and Who Day in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Who Day is just a weird saying. I'm sorry. It's just like
it's like that old JT Money. No, that's Who Dat.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was totally Who Dat. Yeah, Who Dat. Yeah, get out of here with that Q. Now, also, I want to point out your boy Cody Rourke, our local Adam Schefter.
Yeah,
of the locked on
Denver Broncos
NFL world. When we were previewing Steelers versus Broncos, you know how he described the matchup?
What?
He said Broncos country versus Steelers nation.
Unprompted. He doesn't have any idea what he's talking about.
Unprompted, not brought up by me. Just he said Broncos country versus Steelers nation, and I was like, "Ooh, there we go, right there." It's just ingrained in his mind because everyone knows it's Steelers nation, anyways.
He has no idea what he was talking about. It's okay.
Listen. It seems to be only you that has this problem. Everyone else is okay calling it Steelers Nation. It's fine, Q. It's fine.
Well, everyone else lives in a fantasy land, and I don't. I live in reality.
That's right. Everyone's wrong except you. That is exactly. What you say.
It's not my fault that you guys are silly.
Okay.
I'm not from Candyland.
Listen, hey, we're trying to move on with the picks. You're holding everything up, Q.
Well, come on, shoot the ladder, make it happen.
1-3 Patriots at 1-3 Texans. There's no way I'm picking Davis Mills to win a game. I'm going. Wait a minute.
How did you even go from Steelers to Broncos? That wasn't even the game we're picking.
No, I was throwing that out.
That's so light-skinned of you. That's so light-skinned of you.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I'm teasing because we're coming back to it. It's a professional tease there. Patriots Texans, pick it.
I'm going with the Patriots, no doubt about it. Mac Jones, Bill Belichick, they showed me something Sunday night against Tampa Bay. It didn't work out for him, but, man, it showed me a little something. Mac Jones looks like the truth, and I kind of gave him the business during the offseason. Didn't think he was going to be that guy.
New England is Davis Mills is playing on the other side of the field, and therefore they're going to win. We don't need all this stuff. You just said we need to speed through this, and here you go elongating all your picks.
Okay, well, why are you still talking about it then? Oh, man, you feeling froggy, then leap.
2-2 Titans at 0-4 Jaguars. I'm going with the Titans. Why would I pick the Jaguars? Though the Titans did lose to the Jets last week. If they give Urban Meyer his first win, it is all red flags. It is all all hands abandoned ship. This is a nightmare situation for the Titans if they lose, but they don't. They win. They win on the road.
Yeah, they win big here. Urban Meyer's lost the locker room already. I mean, it's a wrap. He's I'll be surprised if he makes it throughout the course of the season. I think he's going to get fired after they come back from London. I don't see it happening. He has no credibility. He's just, he's a joke, man. Everything's going on with him. Amp Wig, I know he was excited when they signed Urban Meyer. He said they give the team credibility. Yeah, they give him bad credibility. No street cred. They give him all bad looks. So Urban Meyer's on his way out, and Tennessee gets his dub, no doubt about it.
0-4 Viking or 0-4 Lions at 1-3 Vikings, two teams that have had their hearts broken all season long. I'm going with the Vikings. They're at home. I'll trust that over the Lions, who just seem to forever be cursed.
You know, I really want to go against Kirk Cousins because it's Kirk Cousins, and I just want to go against them. But
that's
I
Jared
don't trust
Goff.
the Lions. I just don't.
Yeah.
So for that simple reason, I mean, hey, the Lions have been giving teams a run for their money. I still don't trust them. So yeah, we'll roll with Minnesota, which probably means that the Vikings will lose. But I'll go with Minnesota anyway.
Watch this be the.
I'm not confident in it. I'll tell you, I'm not confident in this pick.
Neither am I. All right, now here's the game I teased earlier: 3-1 Broncos at 1-3 Steelers. He's still mad about it. I just wanted to bring it up so you had to think about it. See, this is why I brought it up earlier, so you could have that face right on my screen. That's what I wanted to see, the look of disgust from your boy Q. All right, but anyways, 3-1 Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater might play. He was able to come back to practice for a little bit. We'll see if he does. But this is an interesting matchup. Both teams have, defensive fronts with vaunted players like Von Miller and TJ Watt. It's going to be a really interesting. I think this is going to be a big defensive showdown, but I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning at home, bouncing back after their 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, I said it in the beginning of the show that I was going to roll with Pittsburgh in this game. I just feel like their defense is going to be better than the Broncos' defense. I don't believe in the Broncos' quarterbacks, neither one of them, Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater. I don't care. I'm just not that guy. I think that you'll see a couple big plays out of the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary. Minkah Fitzpatrick probably comes up with a pick six or a fumble recovery, takes it back to the house for a touchdown. Look for a big play from Minkah, so I'm going to roll with Pittsburgh in this one as well.
Yeah, he had a big touchdown wiped off the board last week from a call that I think everyone in the NFL knows was trash.
Yeah, that was a terrible call, man. That was a terrible call.
It was a terrible call. 10-point. It was a 10-point flip of a call and a 10-point loss for the Steelers. Trust me, I was asking Minkah and Joe Hayden about that Thursday, and they were both not happy. But anyways, moving right along, it's the battle for South Florida. Dolphins at Buccaneers. Come on, the Buccaneers are wiping the floor with these guys.
Yeah, I got TB12 all day. Miami's a shell of themselves. I thought after winning 10 games a year ago, they'd come back and be really strong, but they haven't established an identity yet, so they're kind of all over the place. So, yeah, I'm rolling with the Buccaneers, who at least you know who they are in this game.
This is a tricky game because I don't know who either of these teams are. The 2-2 Saints, a 2-2 Washington football team. I'm going with the Washington football team. Taylor Heineke has impressed me a little bit here. With the way that you reacted, it tells me you're going with the Saints. I think that both teams have interesting defenses, and I like the way Taylor Heineke's playing with Terry McLaurin better than how Jameis Winston's playing with his offense.
Yeah, no, the Washington football team is playing decent. And their defense is really good. But I just think that Heineke and Winston, if you kind of compare and contrast those guys, you got to go with the veteran in Jameis Winston. He's going to throw some touchdown passes. Will he throw some interceptions? Probably. But I just think that he's just the better quarterback. And so I'm going to roll with the better quarterback in this one. So, yeah, I'm definitely going with the fighting Ross Jacksons and going with the Saints.
The fighting Ross Jacksons. I love that. Shout out to our boy Ross, a Locked On Saints. All right, this is probably the game of the 4:00 hour. 3-1 Browns at 3-1 Chargers. Two up-and-coming teams, with two young quarterbacks. But these are two young quarterbacks that are heading in different directions. Baker Mayfield looked abysmal last week against the Vikings, whereas just Justin Herbert just continues to light up the scoreboard. I have to go with the Chargers. I know that the Browns have a staunch running game that's going to be able to get things going, but man, that Chargers offense is something else. I think their defense makes enough plays to stop the Browns from ever having too controlling of a lead, and eventually it's going to be on Baker Mayfield to make some big throws into tight coverages, and it's not going to work out for him. So I'm going Chargers at home.
I don't believe in the Chargers offense that much. I really don't. I know that they put up 28 against the Raiders, but I think the Raiders gave them some pretty good favorable positions. I do believe in their defense, though. I think that their defense is strong. Joey Bosa and that defensive line is solid, except for against the run, and that's what Cleveland likes to do. Baker Mayfield, I know he's dealing with the injury to his shoulder, but I think that you're going to see Nick Chubb run a lot. You're going to see Kareem Hunt run a lot. They're giving up, they were as of last week, giving up 170 yards on the ground a game, and the Raiders didn't exploit that. So I think Cleveland says, hey, dummies, this is how you run the rock, and they're going to run the hell out of the rock, and I think they give the Chargers their second loss on the season. So I'm rolling with Cleveland.
There you go. Another split for us there. It's the Khalil Mack revenge game. Bears at Raiders. This is your game, Q. The Bears are 2-2 coming into Las Vegas. An interesting matchup here. Justin Fields should be playing, and he's been announced as the team starter for the rest of the season. Like we didn't know that already, but I'm going with the Raiders at home. I don't believe in much what the Bears do. Their offensive line is just not good, and that Raiders defense is going to exploit it.
I think it's so funny, man. I was talking to Lauren Cox from host of Locked On Bears, and the Bears offensive line is terrible. The Raiders offensive line has been terrible. The Bears defensive line can get after the quarterback. The Raiders defensive line can get after the quarterback.
True.
It's so funny that they have so many similarities. I think you're going to see a lot of punches thrown in this game. I do go with the Raiders in this one, and I go with it because of the strength of the defense, and I go with it because they're at home, like you mentioned. But I'll tell you this, man. I did go back and forth a few times because I know Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. That's one of the biggest keys for me. Robert Quinn's playing really good ball. Last year for Chicago, he didn't. He got a big free agent deal and didn't look that good. This year, he's cooking with grease. So I think it's going to be a close one, but I think the Raiders squeak it out.
All right, we're going to go rapid fire with these next three ones. Niners at Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals.
I'm going to go Cardinals as well.
Giants at Cowboys. I'm going Cowboys.
No doubt about it. I'm not Bart Scott. I'm going with the Cowboys as well.
Dang, not Bart Scott. We're going to skip Sunday night because that's the game of the week. Monday night, Colts at Ravens. I'm going Ravens.
Colts and Ravens? Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The Colts stink.
Yeah,
I hate that for Darius Leonard because he's a hell of a player. Yeah. I hate that for the rest of the defensive players on that Colts team. But that offense for Indianapolis is such a joke. So I'm going with Baltimore, no doubt.
All right, now the game of the week, the game that everyone's going to be talking about all week long. Josh Allen and the Bills, 3-1 at the 2-2 Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. Rematch of the AFC Championship game. Q, I'm rolling with the Bills, though. I think they've been playing better defense this year. They've got 2 shutouts, yes, against teams that you should shut out, but they've got 2 shutouts. Their defense has been looking more together, and I do think this is their time to get one up on the Chiefs, but I would not be shocked if Patrick Mahomes said, no, we will not fall to a 2-3 record. We're going to light it up, and I do expect this to be a high-scoring game.
If you're looking at this on YouTube, you see I got a stank face. I got that look on my face like I smell some piss. And the reason I do is because I'm angry. I was going to roll with Kansas City in this game, and I was going to roll with Buffalo because of everything you just said. Just saying. I just thought you were going to go with Kansas City. I thought I was going to get another game up on you because you weren't that smart. But you've proven to be pretty damn smart. And I'm rolling with the Bills the same reason you're rolling with the Bills. The defense is better than Kansas City's. Their offenses are comparable. But if you boil it down to it, if you're comparing and contrasting, one team checks the box of the defense, and that's the Buffalo Bills. So, yeah, game of the week, no doubt about it. It's going to be fantastic, but I think Buffalo gets the dub.
Woo, there we go. That's all of our picks here. Q, what are our splits here in this week?
We split Atlanta and the Jets.
Okay.
I don't know about that one. We split Cincinnati and the Packers. I went with Cincinnati. You went with the Packers. We split New Orleans and the Washington football team. I went with the Saints. You went with the football team. The Browns and the Chargers. I went with Cleveland. You went with the Chargers. And that's it. Oh, no. And then, we both went Buffalo. Yeah, we both went Buffalo. I'm still trying to give you Kansas City. You don't want to, you sure you don't want, you're wearing a red shirt. You don't want Kansas City?
Bro, this is a maroon shirt. First of all, get
every
your colors
shirt,
right.
You got to get a better camera. Every shirt you wear looks red. It's like you put your clothes in the laundry and everything bled. And you don't. Every shirt you got is red.
My man, this is definitely a maroon shirt. Yes, sure.
Definitely
okay,
not looking maroon.
Come at my camera. That's fine. That's fine. But this, sir, is a maroon shirt.
That thing is as red as a stop sign.
Whatever. Stop hating on my camera.
The red is a red light.
No, so what? The red is a
red. Is Santa Claus outfit.
What else is it red like? What else is it red like?
Like Magnum PI's Ferrari.
Whoa, that's. What did you just do? we were going with very relatable things, and you go back and just show how old you are at 44 years old. I don't care.
Magnum PI was a G. He had all the ladies. You don't know about that because you're wearing colored shirts that are only colored because you ran your clothes in the laundry. You couldn't do your own laundry.
Yeah, I put it with my Santa Claus suit. That's exactly what I did.
That thing used to be a white tee, and now it's
that's totally what it is.
What do you call it, maroon?
That's why the white swoosh is here from Nike. That's totally what it is. Anyway,
you color that thing in with some white out.
Yes, that would be the best thing. You just see me doing the little. This is the best whiteout swoosh of all time. Anyways, that's the Locked On NFL podcast here on Friday. He's your boy Q. I'm Chris Carter. Q, let people know they can find you, follow you, and get more of your work.
You can always check me out. Everything I do, Locked On Raiders podcast, Locked On Bets, Locked On NFL. You can find it all at your boy Q254 on Twitter. I never changed my area code when I moved from Texas to Las Vegas, and I don't think I am. I think I'm just gonna ride it out. I'm gonna keep it like Chris's shirts. They're just kind of hanging out there. They're doing their own thing. They're just kind of there. So I'm gonna keep that 254 on the end. It's just gonna be there, just like Chris's shirts. So where can they find you at, man?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Carter Critiques, where you will also find that I have several other colored shirts. I wear a red tie. If you look at my Twitter handle, I actually wear a red tie in both
It
my
used
Twitter
to be
and
white.
Instagram. What am I going to do with you? Anyways, I'm the host of the Locked On Steelers podcast, just like he's the host of the Locked On Raiders podcast. We're both doing those shows Monday through Friday, just like the Locked On NFL podcast. You can find all of us on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, and YouTube. Check us all out on our shows. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. Thanks again for listening/watching the Locked On NFL podcast. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends, as we hope that you're enjoying how we wrap up the week. Be back with Bo Brack wrapping up the Sunday games on the Monday edition of the Locked On NFL podcast.